All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Definitely.
Hey, before we go any further, this is a guy named, they call him Jay, from Chicago. And he is getting his hair cut right now in the barbershop. What up, Jay? Appreciate you for listening in, man. God thinks he's a comedian.
Shot City.
Yeah, Shot City. Thinks he's a comedian, but I mean, we don't know. But he does tip well. He drops $100 every time he gets a cut.
Oh, he tipped very well.
Yeah. So, that's what we should do, huh?
And don't say nothing bad about him.
No. No. I appreciate you, Jay. All right. So, it is time for Ask a Doc. And what's the point of having a segment called Ask a Doc?
You don't have a doc.
Without bringing in a doctor. But we have Dr. Donald Fowler the third, the orthopedic for OrthoAtlanta. What's going on, Doc?
What's going on, guys?
Good, man. Appreciate you for calling in. And just to let you all know, I'm sorry, Doc, I got to let them know. He's on call, but that's how much he's dedicated. Part of this show and dedicated. Like, this is, we definitely appreciate it, man. We definitely, so, but I got to ask you, we're moving on from the Super Bowl, but the talk all week, I guess the last 2 weeks, has been about Todd Gurley. And as far as the last two games, he didn't play well. Super Bowl, I mean, he didn't get a lot of time to play, I guess, but we hadn't seen that Gurley type game since he's come off injury. Is this something we should be worried about? Do you think it's something with his injury, or he just garbage right now?
Well, I don't think it's garbage, but I do think there was something probably going on injury-wise more than what the Rams were letting on. Now, I think there was probably some strategy involved. Certainly, you don't want to tip your hand more than you have to someone like Belichick at that point. So even now, I guess they're coming out and saying McVay and all those are not planning on any surgery. So I don't think it's a long-term serious concern. Like we're worried about his future in the NFL, but I do think it was nagging and lingering enough that they essentially had him on a snap count. Otherwise, in a game like that, it's not like the Patriots were running away with it up, multiple touchdowns. You hand the ball to your stud, you give it to Gurley, and only had 10 touches. So something was going on.
What? Let me ask you this though. If it's something going on, why not bring it up? Like what would be the reason? Because I thought the playoff game, I thought it was because he dropped the pass, which turned into an interception. And then later on, he dropped another pass. Now, clearly enough, it could have been that he just, like you said, he was injured. He wasn't playing. He wasn't up to himself, and that's why. But I thought it was because he just didn't play well.
Well, I mean, certainly there may have been some of that, and maybe you could argue that part of him not playing well because he wasn't 100% in the first place. But even before those drop passes, they'd still only given him I think that game he only had 4 carries, if I'm not mistaken, something ridiculously low. So, I mean, C.J. Anderson certainly was giving them some, I guess, a good option too, but everyone saw what Gurley did for the majority of the season, what he's done in the past years. So if he's 100% healthy, you don't sideline that guy, especially on the biggest stage in a game that's very close, and they're getting to golf, and the way that you establish that passing game is to run the ball more, and they weren't doing that. So,
all right, now Doc, with John Wall, he was taken out for the season to clean up a partially torn Achilles. With him completely rupturing his Achilles, how long could he actually be out?
Yeah, that one as a DC guy, that one hurt because now it led to a fire sale of a lot of other guys, but. It's a tough situation. I mean, he had, apparently bone spurs in both heels, and the Achilles tendon was, rubbing and irritated. So it's ideally something kind of preventative where you get it taken care of, you clean out the bone spur calcifications so you don't get a bigger complete tear in the future. And then, of course, I don't know what the circumstances are, but somehow he slipped and fell in his house and tore the whole thing less than a month from the first surgery. So, yeah, now he's out again, probably a full year, same as Cousins just came back from. But I worry a lot more. We talked about Cousins on the show last month. I worry more about a player like John Wall, who's known for being one of the fastest guys in the league and depends on that quickness and explosion. Cousins is, big guy, can use his body, different kind of player. So I'm a lot more worried about someone like John Wall coming back from an injury like this.
Yeah.
Great follow-up. That was definitely going to be my next question, with him being known for his speed, him being a point guard, cutting and everything that he has to do. And I think he's just making it over 30 and, coming back from that. How do you see him coming back from that?
I mean, again, it's honestly one of the worst injuries, especially for a basketball player. I mean, I think he will be back. Honestly, I don't know if he'll still have that extra gear that he used to have. Obviously, I hope he does. Obviously, he's not known as a shooter, so he's not going to really be able to fall back on that unless something drastically changes. So his speed is his biggest weapon. So it's definitely something that's gonna be watched very closely. But again, definitely at least probably a full year, mid-season, I would say next year, before he's potentially back on the court now. So,
All right, and once again, we're here live with Dr. Donald Fowler III, the orthopedic for OrthoAtlanta, and he's a big Duke fan. And I hope this don't be a biased answer, but no, I'm just kidding. Ty Jerome, the point guard for Virginia, he's questionable because of his back. Now, is there any way possible, even though you probably don't want him to play, that he can play and be effective with a back injury, playing the NBA playing? I mean, does he, if he got shot up, would that help him? Would he have to get shot up twice, first half and second half, or can he just play without getting shot up?
Yeah, and I'll preface for the people out there who don't know me, I did actually go to Duke and was an athlete there, and was a doctor there, so I have a reason to be a Duke fan. But I'm not just a pretender. But that being said, honestly, it's kind of funny in a way. It's almost a flip of what happened last month when Duke's point guard, Tyus Jones, actually did not play, and it was kind of a big deal because as much talent as Duke has, really the offense and the defense, particularly with his on-ball pressure, goes through him. So now you almost have the reverse, where UVA's point guard, Jerome, is maybe not a household name, but is kind of the cog to their offense too, is Bob Cousy finalist and handles the ball well. And he missed the last game with his back injury that he, I think, suffered the game before against NC State. So I think that from what I heard, they're going to try to roll him out there, but it's really important for him to be effective, for UVA's offense to be successful, because it does run through them. They might be giving him something for pain. Back is kind of a broad area, so it's usually kind of something that you don't necessarily inject. It's more of a generalized thing. I'm sure he's on some anti-inflammatory medication, some other stuff, and if he can go, they're going to certainly have him out there because they're going to need him tonight.
Now, earlier we talked about the trades, and we brought up Anthony Davis and his situation, and the Pelicans possibly holding him out, although it can be a violation with him not being medically injured. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of an unfortunate situation, or bad situation for both him and the team. I mean, for those who don't know, he had a avulsion fracture injury to his index finger, which kind of means a ligament tears and takes a little fleck of bone off with it. It's not anything that ever needs surgery, but it does need time to heal. So certainly it was a real injury, but then he comes out and says that he won't be signing with the Pelicans long term. So they're kind of trying to protect their trade asset now, but he's healthy enough to play. So unfortunately, it's just kind of a bad situation now for both parties involved. I didn't see the game last night, but I think the fans were booing him from what I heard and read, and then they didn't even. I think he's only played 25 minutes, scored a ton of points, but they didn't even play him in the fourth quarter at all. Again, I think just to try to keep him from getting hurt and compromising his trade value once the season's over. So
you ever had that moment where you did something and it kind of messed you up, either, God forbid, but at the point of saying either you got fired or you made your wife or significant other upset, and then later on that day you kind of thinking in your mind like, man, I shouldn't have did that, shouldn't have done that. I just got a feeling Anthony Davis is thinking that. He's been thinking this for the last week. Like,
bro, I should have waited till the summertime.
Man, like he mad at his agent right now. Like,
waited.
His agent might get fired.
I should have just waited. No, it's not, because it's clutch, isn't it?
Huh?
It's clutch, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm not going to get fired.
He not leaving. My bad, LeBron.
Yeah. I think we've all probably been there, and I guess his hope was that obviously something was going to be done before the deadline so that he'd already be moved on, but now he's stuck in limbo and going to have to sleep in the bed that he made.
So do you think, before we let you go, do you think that, now saying this, do you think that LeBron sabotaged him? Like, they came up with this plan and it's going to work?
Absolutely.
We're going to trade.
I think that's why they did it right before the deadline.
Yeah. Doc, do you think that? You think LeBron and them came up with this? They all sat around and came up with this idea that it was going to work. But he's not LeBron. Only LeBron makes his move. LeBron can get away with it, not him.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think. I mean, who knows how much strategizing is going on and plot twists, but it seemed like they were throwing everything at him, and then obviously the deal doesn't get done. So maybe they were trying to kind of pigeonhole him a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of people saying now that he might end up going to LA at the end of the season, but not even to the Lakers, to the Clippers, with the moves that the Clippers ended up making at the last minute. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, and I heard from I think I heard from a source that when LeBron made the last trade with the 4 players and the 2 draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
When they asked Magic about that, Magic was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I think LeBron made a trade. And Magic had, organization that had nothing to do with it. They didn't know. Oh, man. All right, Doc, man. We appreciate you for coming on, taking your time to call in anyway, while saving lives and helping families and people. And we appreciate you, sir.
No problem, guys. Hopefully see you guys in person next week.
Yes, sir. All right. We're going
to have a sports injury? Need to see an orthopedic doctor? OrthoAtlanta is one of Metro Atlanta's largest orthopedic and sports medicine practices, providing orthopedic and sports medicine care for the whole family. With 37 physicians and 14 offices, the practice provides the highest level of care for injury of muscles, joints, bones, and spine. OrthoAtlanta offers convenient access to a full range of musculoskeletal surgeons and specialists. OrthoAtlanta also offers on-site physical therapy, pain management care, MRI imaging, and workers' compensation care. The OrthoAtlanta surgery centers in Austell and Fayetteville provide cost-effective, same-day surgical procedures in an accredited outpatient center. Hip, knee, shoulder, back pain? OrthoAtlanta has you covered with specialists in all areas. Same-day appointments, orthopedic care for the whole family. OrthoAtlanta, Atlanta's choice for orthopedic and sports medicine care. Learn more at www.orthoatlanta.com.